So after last episode's little, lover's tiff, we'll call it, I'm sort of hoping that doesn't happen again and everyone, lives happily ever after. Probably not gonna happen, is it? We made a new song. I lost something, but it's not you. That's a terrible time for a song with that name to come around. Oh, Jesus. A melodious song about task lessons. The less said about that one, the better. I'm going to try and attempt to hang out with Bew and hope that he doesn't hate me. The sun was only up a few minutes ago. Well, it doesn't look terrible, right? Well, maybe it's cold. Also, we got a new month report in. Let's look at it. We need more CD sales, but we need a shitload of popularity too. You guys have no idea how many gigs I've been doing. If only we could get rid of Wiz as well. Tell you what we should do, whilst we're here, we should look at the post, shouldn't we? That one. Oh my god, there's a lot. The new CD is just fabulous. Oh, Jesus. This is her. Saying your name consistently for 33 seconds would be impressive. It's a sad day for all of us who ain't got nobody. Less said about that one, the better. Oh, nom nom. Oh, Jesus Christ. There was fab said in that. You're welcome, Ashley. That's what we're here for. To make money be good to our fans. No chance. We haven't had a single song do well. Alright, back to playing gigs, everyone. There's a scene after the gig we did. We've never performed in that venue before. It was clear across town, but it was well worth it. It was just the fourth one I've been doing over and over again. Bew said we would get a good audience and it would help spread our band's music. Remarkably, the turnout was wall to wall and it was a huge place, trust me. Who are you saying trust to? As usual, the after-party moved back to Tracy's bar, and as usual, Bew and I gravitated towards each other. It was the only time we ever truly talked now, since we were so embarrassed to speak outside of our characters. It was in the name of the sport. If we kept our distance, people would realise we were faking and then hate the band for it. That would be your fault. So, we had to. Is it that, though? Right? We could have just stopped the act when the Seth thing happened, but we both decided not to. I tried not to think too hard about it. Put that back up there now. Bew lit up a cigarette as we leaned against the bar. Smoking ban, man. I still got a kick out of seeing him with such a vice, but there was something mesmerising in it too. I think he knew. The way he held the cigarette loosely in his hands, the way he let the smoke drift over his lips, he knew. Smoke drift over his lips? I mean, I'm hardly fucking dripping wet. The moment he abandoned it in his mouth, I took his cigarette as my own. He watched me puff in victory. You don't shudder anymore. The smoke wafted from the corners of my lips and circled about him lazily. What's that? When I touch you. Whoa, okay, that's weird. Do you notice that stuff? That's weird. Stop feeling me when you touch me. Oh, but yeah, just don't touch me. He shifted so that I would have his full attention. I think I should make something very clear so that you are not confused down the line. I took a sip of my beer. We cannot be a real couple. I did a spit take. I had to wipe off my mouth with my shirt. It was so ridiculous. That's what your super serious face was for. To warn me not to fall in love with you. Do I look like one of those fangirls to you? Public displays of deflection, however casual. Deflection, affection. However casual, are known to lead to bigger displays. It's a legitimate concern. Is he saying this for himself? The feel of him against me was suddenly the strongest memory I had. Yeah, right. Maybe in your overblown dreams. You know what? Maybe I should warn you. I grabbed his tie and pulled him closer. He resisted, and the tables turned. I pulled his face near mine. Smoke drifted between us. Don't fall in love with me, Bureaucrat LeMay. I'm a dangerous creature, and you can't make me happy. We all know that's a lie as well. I like it rough and dirty, two things you can never be. Just, two things I never wish I'd read out loud. He yanked his tie from my hand. Happily. I snickered and took another sip from my bottle. He took the chance to reclaim his cigarette. I'm glad there's no need for concern. I just needed to cover this for the sake of the band. Oh, the band, was that all? Intra-band relationships are one of the leading factors for their dissolution. I'd say that's a lie, but it's probably true, isn't it? There are lots of bands that I can immediately think off the top of my head which sort of collapsed because of that. He sounded ridiculous, looking that sexy while spouting his nerdy facts. Say that in English. Band members shouldn't date, it's bad. Oh? I drank, thinking about what he said. He simply leaned back on the bar next to me, his attention elsewhere. So he only told me we wouldn't work because of that. That was stupid. I thought we were being realistic about our compatibility. I wondered what he would say if we weren't. Well, that didn't matter because we wouldn't work regardless, so... Fucking would, mate. So are you going to stop touching me or what? If you stop lying about me, I'll give up lying once you do. His mouth twitched. He knew that that was something he would not do. I plucked the cigarette easily from his slender fingers. The cocky smile of my face disappeared when we heard a ruckus across the bar. An angry drunk? No, oh god. Sterling has shown up? Is he that jealous of us? Oh, Bible thump. It was Sterling. He was pushing his way through the crowd, making himself very known. Where is she? I was actually scared. I immediately extinguished the smoke in my hand and turned back to him. Why was he here? To kick shit up again? Damn him. You can kick him out. It's not out of your rights. I see you. Look at me. I reluctantly turned around. Oh, hey there, champ. Nice of you to stop by at the after party. I don't think you were invited. You want to play dirty? Then let's play. He hit the bottles off the countertop and they crashed over the side. We're going to be invoicing your people about that. I couldn't help but feeling intimidated by him. I backed up into view and he caught me. I don't even know where to begin on what the fuck you're talking about. That was my house. Tonight was our night. What are you... Stop playing dumb, you sneaky bitch. You're the one talking shit here. You don't have to fight him. View's hand on my arm was unmistakable. Who the fuck are you to tell her, huh? You might be a damn LeMay, but you're nothing here right now. How's he not been put into prison with behavior like this? Oh, so you know who I am. View? I'm right here. I turned around to face him, trying to speak so that only he could hear me. Don't get involved, just leave, okay? He didn't move right away, but he didn't know how to handle Sterling. He had such strange buttons, and if he pushed them, he got real violent. Leave. I'm the one who unbooked you. He wasn't speaking to me, he was talking directly to Sterling over my shoulder. What was that? I saw your band was booked there and decided to book it for my own. Oh no, God, what? Is this true, or is this you trying to, like, rile him up, as it were? She had nothing to do with it. Shut up, you moron. What a dumbass, he had no idea what Sterling was capable of. He's lying, I did it. Robin. It's easy to get my way, you know. The manager said you were a crap band anyway. Please believe me. You think this is funny? Sterling stepped closer, but I was pulled backwards by View. Now, don't cover up for me, I'm telling the truth. He deliberately aggravated the people he has specifically said not to rile up. This is a bad idea. That's a free pass to Pain Town? Look at you two, you make me sick. So I guess you're fucking her like every other guy in here, no doubt. Where's your sluts tonight, Chris? All die from your STDs? Oh, lovely. Look who's talking. She tell you how used she is? I growled at him in the lowest voice I've managed to reach. I was trembling. You shut your goddamn face. Are the authorities on their way, or should I call them? She said I was the father. Well, that's a low blow if ever there was one. No, anything but that. But who fucking knows? Chris! Lucky for her, it never went through. I couldn't get my no out intelligibly before I covered my face with my shaking hands. My voice was too high-pitched. The most private piece of information I've ever had in my life, and he just shouted it out like a baseball score. I wanted to die. I wanted to shrivel up and disappear into ashes right then and there. It wasn't my fault, was it? There, I think we're even. Try enjoying her after that. I worked too hard. Everything I ever did was for him. I ripped my hands from my face and jumped at him. I wanted to kill him. All I needed was a broken bottle and it was done. Sterling watched me try to attack him. But the heat from Sterling's glare was suddenly broken as I was suddenly turned around. Bu grabbed me by the face and pulled me into his mouth. I couldn't hear the music anymore, and I couldn't process anything other than the sensation. All I could think about was how it suddenly felt like there were shards of glass pushing through my veins. The kiss was strong and deliberate, as if he needed to convince me, as much of our audience, that it was real. I almost fell for it too. For a split second I was kissing Bu. What was I even mad about again? How long had we been... He was torn away from me before I could calculate. I had to remember who I was and what was going on. Do you ever see art for something which doesn't quite match how they've looked before? Oh, I guess his tie still looks as silly as ever. Sterling had grabbed him off me by the collar. Bu was taller than him and did not seem intimidated at all. Still, I could not help how absolutely frightened I was. You fucking did that on purpose. I sincerely hope I do everything on purpose. No, they weren't going to fight, were they? Shit, no, please. Stop it, Sterling. Go home. Leave us alone. I thought we were equal. Why is he still... I ran up to them to act as some sort of divider, but to my dismay, Bu pushed me away and gave me a warning look. You like your women off the street? She show you all her whore moves yet? At this point, it's just slander. I don't think you need to worry about stuff like that. Why was Sterling so angry? There was no way he was jealous. He couldn't be, because all he seemed to want to do is hurt me. All of them. Why? No, don't. You think because you're some rich fuck you can talk to me like that? You don't have to be rich. Sterling yanked him down a notch, but it helps. I hated seeing Bu out of control. It made me sick and made me so scared. Look, let go of him. I couldn't think of anything smart to say. That was all I had to say. Let him go. Great, so we turned into Elsa. No! I ran up to them and tried to pry Sterling's hands from Bu, even though he wanted me at bay. He did let him go. Unfortunately, he grabbed me instead. He twisted my arm. Even when we were broken up, I couldn't date anyone else? Apparently not. There was a loud crack. I screamed, spinning around to see Sterling breathing heavily, an almost manic smile on his face. Bu's glasses had cracked. I watched him stagger back just once. His eyes were closed, but his face was like stone, just like whenever I had tried to hurt him. He removed his mangled glasses like they hadn't been broken at all. A crowd had swarmed Sterling by that point, and I think Dallas was there now, trying to ask if I was all right, but I could only focus on Bu. My heart struck my ribcage with every beat. I rushed by his side and ran my hands over his arms and neck. Oh my god, Bu, can you see? He opened his eyes with some effort. He looked at me first, perhaps savouring the fear in my face. Blood began to trickle down his cheek. Seamlessly, his face transitioned into fiery determination. He looked over his shoulder at Sterling, fighting off a crowd of fans. I've never seen him look at anyone with so much hate since I've known him, and he's hated me quite a few times. It was terrifying. You're bleeding. My voice was high-pitched again, like I could cry at any moment. He must have heard the possibility in my voice. His tense muscles relaxed around my hands. I reached up to his face to wipe the blood from it. It really was coming down hard and was already staining his clothes. Oh, God, what's he going to do about that one tie he owes? Fuck, Bu, we need to clean this up. My nerves were so shot, I couldn't speak without shaking. Luckily, he didn't object when I took him by the hand and led him to the loft's bathroom. I could barely hear anything outside my own heartbeat. Have you taken a course in first aid? No, but we can improvise. Probably, maybe, but let's just try not to die. What? What are you saying at a time like this? No, but a soldier knows how to sew their own leg back on. Was that supposed to reassure me? We don't really have much of a way with words, do we? Shut up and sit down. I sat him down on the edge of the shower and grabbed the nearest rag. I pressed it onto the source of bleeding. Pressure, always pressure, I remembered that much. After a moment I saw the blood on my own hands and his clothes. I took his hand and replaced it with mine. Hold the rag there. I turned on the tap and got another washcloth damp. I have good health insurance. Just take me to the hospital. For this? Is your nose broken? He cringed as I placed the cold towel against his face to wipe off the blood. I think it is all right. Do you actually think it's all right? Or are you doing that manly thing? It's just like, no, it's completely fine. I'm definitely not, near dead. Then don't be such a baby. I covered his jaw and neck with the washcloth. After a long silence, we started to settle down. My breathing and heartbeat returned to some semblance of normal. The reality of what had happened started to hit me too. I slowly lifted his hand to reveal a bleeding wound. Hey, look, I'm looking at this from a possibility that we might get more popularity because, like, you know, the newspapers will write about us, right? Is that so evil? I slowly lifted his hand to reveal a bleeding wound. He flinched when my bare hand touched his chin to get a better look. May I? I was being sarcastic, but he nodded just the same. I rotated his face to view the damage. His glasses had nicked him under the eye, and there might be a bruise later, but nothing had started to swell yet. Damn, I was hoping he'd end up looking like Quasimodo. Why? Keep all those other girls off. Okay, don't worry, I get it. As I manhandled his face, he stared up at me, and that made me uncomfortable. The shards of glass in my veins were then accompanied by a pit in my stomach. It was my fault he was like this. If I hadn't forced him to wear glasses, they wouldn't have broken. If I hadn't got so riled up by Sterling, he wouldn't have intervened. If I hadn't done the stupid date thing, we wouldn't have been locked in a phone booth, you ass. He pressed the rag back against the cut. His amber eyes were too much. Do you insult everyone that helps you? Yes. Let him punch me in the face next time. I hope you are joking. I can take it. He grew silent. I gave him a goofy smile. Looks like someone needs a hug. I opened my arms wide in a dramatic manner. He stared up at me so seriously that I dropped my arms awkwardly. Instead, I just pat his bloodied clothes with a wet towel. I was joking. Jesus. You don't have to go between two extremes. There is a middle. Not in Robin's case, there isn't. I rubbed at a spot on his shirt. The middle is no fun. I knew that running cold water on it would prevent staining, but I didn't think I was in the right frame of mind for a shirtless Bew. He was rich, he could buy a new one. I nabbed the dusty, outdated first and aid kit under the sink. It creaked open, and I scanned for anything that might help. Rubbing alcohol could do the trick. Now, this is really going to sting. As I predicted, he hissed when I applied the alcohol. His reaction startled me and made me uneasy. He had worked so hard not to show his pain whenever I tried to hurt him, but the cold towel had made him howl without much of a fight. I was kind of jealous. I lightly blew on the wound, which seemed to calm him, which calmed me down too. When he opened his eyes, I saw how close I was to his face, so I got up and went to the sink. Don't be such a wuss. He could have been seriously hurt. What if his glasses had broken in a slightly different way? I shuddered. I got out a small box of bandages from the kit and started to open it. Do you still love Sterling? The contents of the box spilled into the running water. What kind of question? Just pulled that one out of thin air, huh? You don't have to answer. I tried to salvage the bandages from the water, but not many survived. I can answer, I just don't know why it was asked. I picked at the flaps to remove the adhesive, but it wasn't opening. You know that's just never going to work with Robin, because she's just not going to tell you the truth. Damn it, come off. I picked and I picked. My fingernails just weren't snagging the opening. Damn this thing. Bew gently took the bandage from my hand. I didn't realise he was close enough to do that. He opened it easily and returned it to me. I just held it. I must have looked like a coward trying to avoid the question because I didn't like the answer. I took a moment to think, but I didn't need that moment. Do you still love your fiancée? The words stirred something in him and he turned his face away. I did too. Because your answer is the same as mine. I don't know. Being dumped is shit because you don't get any conclusion. You just get, it's over, now leave. I turned off the tap, just now realising it was still running. No, I don't love Sterling. There's no way I could. But that doesn't matter because I'm still so up in the air about it all. I didn't leave him, he left me. I didn't end things, he did. So I'm going to be the one who's got love left. At least, that's what people will think, no matter what. I picked off the packaging of the Band-Aid. Why am I saying tap instead of faucet and not plaster instead of Band-Aid? Sort of ruining my own rules here. I can say it was mutual until my cheeks turned blue. But I don't know. I can't heal a wound that keeps opening back up. I turned back around to see Bew looking at me again, just watching me. I got really flustered, realising how I told him all that with no coaxing. I just laid it all out there for him to use against me. Speaking of wounds, I readied the bandage and leaned down to his face to place it. The look in his eyes was hard to ignore as much as I tried. They were rounded with emotion, though I couldn't read which. Was he laughing at me? Crying with me? In pain? Why did I care? I smoothed the edges of the adhesive on his skin, trying to avoid eye contact. How do we conclude? I was able to meet his eyes again. Was his answer really the same as mine? I opened my mouth, hoping words would just fall out of it. Instead, I actually had to think of some. It probably involves you getting a heart transplant. My sentence faded away as his warm hand slid onto my cheek. My chest felt like it had caved in. What are you doing? Don't patronize me. I was frozen, hunched over him with his face only inches from mine. His fingers trembled as they delved into my hair. This wasn't an act. His eyes weren't glazed, his mouth was relaxed, his hand was hesitant, he was scared. No one was here to witness this but me. This was Bew. I panicked. I didn't know what to do with this man. He was a stranger. He could do anything, say anything. I was afraid of speaking or even moving, in case I frightened him off and never saw him again. I was thinking of things I wanted to ask him. Surely I had questions for this elusive man. But everything I wanted to ask him was superseded by the things I wanted to do to him. We can't work out. Kiss him. No bad relationships. They're bad. Did I really just think that? What kind of mind control was this man capable of? The feel of his lips from before was still so alive. The more I tried to keep my head away from his, the heavier it got. I stared at him like a doe caught in the headlights, as his own heavy-lidded eyes closed in. Our mouths were touching, but our eyes were open. I couldn't look away, I couldn't even blink, I was so afraid that this man would disappear. The kiss itself was insignificant compared to what I was seeing. The answer to his question became more obvious as more time passed. We had to fall in love with new people. That was the only way to find true closure. Time alone would never be enough. Or was I just making that up so I didn't have to pull away? Was this just his romantic charade right now? Someone entered the room outside, calling for us. The disturbance caused me to close my eyes and stand up straight. I decided to busy myself with the sink cleaning up the mess. I thought I told you to cram the act. I was suddenly very embarrassed. Ashamed, even. You looked lonely. That didn't help. Dallas burst through the bathroom door, looking relieved to see us. How are you, man? How's it look? I wanted to believe he was lying and that he didn't just do it because I looked like I needed it. Not too deep. Face cuts are all the worst. I'm such an idiot. He was just being a stupid fucking gentleman again. I ran water to wash my hands of blood and of him. Robin's a good medic, though. Patched me up a few times. I dried my hands, ready to get the hell out of there. Job's done. Thanks and all that jazz. I finally looked over at Bew again. The sharpness in his expression had returned. Dallas walked over and spoke to me in a quiet voice. How are you? Are you alright? Yeah, I'm fine, okay? I snapped at him more than I probably should have, but couldn't everyone just stop pitying me? After a pat on the back, Dallas left me. Let me go get someone who can file a police report. Don't. Why not? No, I will file one. Damn it, why didn't anyone respect my wish for privacy? Dallas left the bathroom, leaving us alone again. I checked to see if my cheeks were turning red in the mirror. Instead, I saw Bew standing and moving to leave. He had reclaimed his senses, I see. You should probably mind your own business from now on. Our eyes met in their reflection. It was an unnatural feeling, but I kept the connection. Wanted to see if the side of Bew I just encountered was completely gone. My business is with the band. You and everyone else are my responsibility. His slender fingers touched his band-aid, and almost like when he adjusts his glasses before talking down to me. God, why did I just kiss him right now? Screw him. Next time, make it clear you don't want my help, and mistakes like this can be prevented. Want his help? Want him to assault me with his mouth whenever there's a problem? He got punched on his own volition. He was the one who clearly needed help here. He was gone from the bathroom, but I just stared at the empty door frame through the mirror. I bit at my lips and kept biting until all traces of him were completely gone. I stopped when I started bleeding myself. The band took a few days off after the incident. Emmett checked by daily, once with a dog. All times he was personally thrown out. I ignored all phone calls because none of them were from Bew. Sweet guy, him. You know those times, this happened to me a lot during the Cupid playthrough, you know those times where you don't want to make jokes because what's happening is far too powerful and you just want to convey the words as best as you can? That was one of those scenes. Fuck, this is a good game. Fuck.